everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Deep Thoughts. And today we are talking about Azur Lane, Episode 2, Melee, Pulsing Waves, Steel Wings. But before we begin, I do want to give a big thank you to @PandoraRaven13 for sharing last week's video over on Twitter. And if you too would like to have your name shouted out in next week's Azur Lane video, then be sure to share this video around on the internet and then tag me at JoJo Talks Too Much over on Twitter, and I will be sure to shout your name out in next week's video. Now, with that said, we have two things in particular that we have to talk about in regards to this week's Azur Lane video. We gotta talk about the aftermath of the Premier's battle, and we gotta talk about the rescue of the Eagle Union. And I love the fact that the American group is called the Eagle Union. Is there a Canadian ship in this? I would love that. I hope there is. There probably isn't, but I would love it if there was. So let's go ahead and dig into the aftermath of the Premier's battle. Right away, when the episode begins, we are immediately gifted with an explainer on how things work in the Azur Lane universe, which I have to say, it's like they watched my video. It's like they knew what all of us, like non-fans, like people who just weren't aware of what the Azur Lane lore was. People who were like, are they people turned into boats, or are they boats turned into people, or what's going on? And they perfectly explain everything right off the pop. It's just we are beings created by humans. We are like made from boats. Like we are boats that were turned into like weapons from humans, and we are like our own kind of thing. We are boats turned into people. And I was like, cool. That's all I needed. Something about cubes. I don't know. It sort of looks like a cosmic cube from the Marvel comics, or I guess a tesseract if you're an MCU fan. It looks neat. That's all I really needed, though. I don't need like a super scientific explanation. Just boats turned into people. Cool. Got it. I play Token Rambu. It's all good. I kind of get the basic gist of it. Speaking of Token Rambu, though, I almost wonder, and this is just the side tangent. I didn't write this down in my notes, but it's just something I was thinking about. I wonder if maybe they should have gone with less of a Token Rambu Hanamaru approach, where you just sort of throw a bunch of characters at the screen for the sake of the fans and follow like a group of specific characters around as we meet like all these different characters like all at once. Or should they have gone with the Katsugeki Token Rambu route, where you just have a specific core of characters and then like slowly introduce other characters as you go, like over time, one by one, or like group by group. I almost wonder if maybe that was the right approach for Azur Lane, because there is a insane number of characters. But like Hanamaru, or Token Rambu Hanamaru, in the sense that it's similar to Hanamaru in the sense that we are following like a core group. Like we follow Javelin and Laffy and Enterprise and stuff like that. Like we have like a core group that we're following. But we also like have a billion other characters that we have to also be aware of. Like I straight up forgot Wales' name, and she's one of the characters that I like and want to see more of. So I wonder if maybe the cast is too big. I don't know. But then if you get rid of them, fans of the game are going to be disappointed, and this is for them, you know. Like I'm just like casual here, so it shouldn't really be about what I want as opposed to what would work best for fans. So I don't know. What do you guys think? If you play the game, let me know. Would you have rather gone down the route of having like a specific core group of characters and just see other characters show up as cameos and just flesh out those characters, or would you rather just have everybody because you already know them? Like, would you rather just have everybody all at once or a core group? Let me know. Tangent aside, I gotta say, the aftermath of the Premier battle, like they make it a point to show that the damage was done. They left nothing unturned, nothing undamaged. It was insane. And we have adorable burb friends? Okay. Now, unlike the other, unlike the boat girls, they don't explain the bird friends. I would like to know about the bird friends. Are they friend or foe? They're clearly friend because they're helping our girls out of the water, but why are they friend? Can they explain why friend? I like bird friends, but could use explainer on what bird friends do. What is purpose of bird friends? Why am I talking like this? We may never know the answers to these things. No, but I'm sure fans of the games will be kind enough to explain. I don't super care about the science of it. I just care, like, what do the bird friends do? How are they there? Why are they so adorable? Look at those designs. They're so frackin' cute. I love it. It's interesting too, because in this moment we see all the ships like trying to recover, and we make it a point to say like, no, these ships aren't indestructible. Like, they can be hurt and damaged, and we see cracks and wears and tears in their armor, and especially on Enterprise. And Wales, and I don't remember who the other character was. Maybe it was Cleveland? I don't remember. But Wales is talking to somebody saying, like, listen, a tightly strung bow, while it's strong and shoots true, is easily able to snap. And that is Enterprise in a nutshell. Enterprise, if you can't tell, of all the cast I've seen, is probably my favorite. I shouldn't say that, Cleveland, but Enterprise is probably, I'd say Enterprise is my favorite, then followed by Cleveland, then maybe Wales, then Javelin, then Laffy. I think that's my main crew right there. But Enterprise, man, like that's she's like the Saber of this group, where she's like, no, I'm gonna, like, I have to fight and fight harder and on and on and on, because that's what I was meant to do. And she has like a bit of a complex about it. Like, she knows she's a badass. She's a badass warrior chick who refuses to back down in a fight, and I kind of dig that. As we see later on in the episode, this does come back to bite Enterprise in the butt later. But I appreciate that they actually took the time to have these two characters talk about Enterprise and note that, like, while yes, she is a total badass, that she's an unbelievable beast in combat, it comes with a disadvantage, the point that she can't stop. Like, while she's great at fighting, she never knows when to take a break. Like, she just can't. Her whole mind is fight. Like, that's, in her mind, because they are boats turned human, they're weapons, and therefore all that they should be doing is fighting. Like, that's what they were made to do. Whereas other characters, and this is probably my favorite bit of the whole, like, aftermath of the premiere battle, is that the show is starting to hit on a really interesting concept. It doesn't really dive into it. It just sort of like grazes the surface, but it's something I expect to see as the show goes on. And that's the fact that the ships are beginning to question things. We see this with the one traitorous character whose name I forget. But we see her like questioning, like, was I right to do that? Should I have stayed with Javelin in the gang? I know I only knew them for a brief moment, but in that moment we became friends, and why do I have to fight them? And the other character, Z20 something or other, I don't remember her name. You guys know me, terrible with names. But she's like, no, like, we were made to fight. Why are you even questioning this? What's going on? And it's interesting because these characters, who are weapons, essentially, weapons crafted by humanity, are starting to gain humanity. And so they're starting to question things. And I thought that was really interesting. I don't know if we'll really dive into it, but I hope that they do. I would love to see them, like, explore what that means. Like, do they, because they clearly have personalities. To me, it's sort of like what made the nobodies interesting in Kingdom Hearts 2, where it's like they clearly have, like, personalities, but are they fake? Do they actually feel? What's going on with that? Now, we found out in Kingdom Hearts 3, some spoilers, but here, I don't know. I don't know if, like, maybe the personalities are just brought upon by what humanity knows about the ships, so that when the ships became human, or human weapons, whatever you want to call them, when the ships became the boat girls, they just adapted a personality to match whatever, like, the history told us about these boats, or if that they just put on a personality to try to fit in with humanity, or what. I'm probably digging way too deep into something that's really not meant to be deep, but I think that that's the most interesting part of the show. I'm glad that they actually tried to dig into it and, like, tried to establish that, like, Enterprise is constantly fighting. That's all she can do because that's all she was meant to do. But she's starting, like, she does have emotional ties to things. Like, she freaks out when she realizes that her sister Hornet is in danger, which we'll get to. But you also see characters like Javelin questioning why they have to fight. The traitorous character questioning why she had to betray these newfound friends that she made. Just Laffy just wondering if she can just friggin' have a Coca-Cola or whatever it is and chill out and sleep. Why can't Laffy just chill out and sleep? Like, it's interesting to me. I think that's the most interesting part of the episode. The least interesting part, and thank goodness it's brief, and, like, at the very least the characters are still strong despite this thing, the fan service. Now, the fan service ranges from good, I think the fan service with Prince Eugen, or whatever you call that character, who is fire, by the way. I love that character. But the fan service with her, I'm like, totally fair, because it's like, that's her outfit. So to me, I'm like, okay, like, this character is sort of like, especially in the way that she behaves, you're like, in like the two sister characters, I'm like, okay, the way that those three characters behave, the fan service doesn't feel inappropriate because it's true to their character and it's not annoying and done for the sole sake of fan service. It's also meant to push, like, these characters are badass, or these characters care about each other, maybe a little too much. But with the Javelin and Laffy thing, I'm not even gonna show any images of it because it genuinely just upset me. It was so like blatant 2006 fan service. Why can't we have the like that's the thing though, because Azur Lane's like, you can have both, and I'm like, no, you can't have both. You can't have solidly done fan service mixed with 2006 lame fan service. You did good later in the episode, but the beginning fan service, I was like, no. So I was like, oh no, the rest of the episode's gonna be like this. And it's not. It's tasteful fan service, and I dug it. I just wish it kept doing that. And my alarm is going off to tell me that this episode, I'm already running out of time, so allow me to quickly go over the rescue of the Eagle Union and point out that Hornet is a badass. Hornet single-handedly defending herself against the Red Axis on her own after her teammates get wiped out. Hornet's a badass, let it be known, and also a weakness for Enterprise, which leads into Enterprise versus Zui Kaku, I believe her name was. I wrote it down, I don't know if that's correct, but they have this one-on-one showdown, which is like the dopest thing ever. I absolutely love this fight. The fight scenes in Azur Lane, and unfortunately I don't have a lot of time to dig into it because I don't want these videos to go too long, but the fight scenes in this show are so friggin' dope, and in particular this one-on-one fight had like reassured me that no, the premiere was not a fluke. You will get really dope action in the show, but you'll also get fun fan service and fun characters, and you know what? I'm here for it. Enterprise is dope. Hornet is I am here for the Eagle Union. Enterprise is dope. Hornet is dope. Cleveland is dope. But you also had Javelin and Laffy. Laffy had a weird scene where like it looked like she was gonna have the make the sacrifice play, but then like they didn't, so I don't understand why they gave her that moment, but whatever. It was fun to see Laffy being Laffy, and it was just a cool fight scene overall. And again, the one-on-one showdown with Enterprise and Zuikaku had some of like this some of the coolest shots in this season thus far. I mean, mind you, like we have a lot of action shows coming up that are probably gonna blow that fight scene away, but the fight scene was still cool nevertheless. And Sudden Maid, I don't know what to make of the maid at the end, but I like her already. But yeah, I guess that wraps up my thoughts. Sorry, I had to rush it at the end. With that said, though, everybody, I'm gonna happily give this episode a solid B tier. Again, just a good, fun time. Azur Lane knows what it wants to be and succeeds in that wholeheartedly. On that note, everybody, that just about wraps everything up. But before we go, as always, I want to give a big shout out to the good folks over on Patreon, namely those in the Earl Grey tier: Calvin Atkinson, Crowbar of Irony, Dominic, Urza, Ginkotaku, No For Nothing, Maria Teresa, Mirth Mouser, Omna Garamond, Cell, Shadow Creative, Sipco Games, Somastan, Steven, Tristan, and Verdon. Thank you all so much for your continued support over on Patreon, and hey, if you too would like to join the T Squadron, then by all means go ahead and check out that first link in the description to check out our Patreon page, see all the cool rewards you can get for as little as $1 a month, and get access to our Patreon exclusive Discord. But on that note, everybody, that's going to be a video, so I hope you all enjoyed, and if you did, you've probably been on the internet long enough to know what to do already, so I ain't going to tell you, but I will say that it is appreciated, and if you are feeling stressed out today, then you go have yourself a warm cup of tea, and I will talk to you all again real soon.